Cool. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So today's agenda we have variables. Okay. So we'll start with introduction to variable, which yesterday I told you. So it's kind of a revision. So that slide is not that much important. Then we have once we know a little bit about variables and all, then usually in programming language, how do? We declare a variable, then we pass the then we use the variable in our code, then runtime we pass the value of the variable, right? That's how it happens. So we'll see how it is happening here. Okay. And then there is something called as a variable validation. So for example, let's say other day, what you told, like I was putting in a wrong region code for Azure. Okay. So if I have a validation in a variable AWS in a variable reason, so before it submits that value to the cloud and uh, gets an error message back, it can do it in local itself. Okay, it can validate the value. If something wrong is there, it won't send it to the cloud, and because sending a sending a command to the cloud and getting the response back takes some time, which is obviously more than what it would take if the operation happens on your system or on the server where you are writing the code or where you are executing the code, right? So the
Mhm.
variable validation will happen then and there. Okay, so it would be faster. You would save some time on knowing if you are putting any wrong values. Okay, and then all of these whatever we discussed, I would put into a demo at the end. Okay, so now let's go ahead. This is something which we discussed yesterday. Variables help us in parameterizing the deployments. Then
Yep.
we have the variable values passed into the code during the runtime. Okay, it helps us using the same configuration file to deploy resources and code in different environments like dev, test, and production. A very good example is, let's say we have 10 EC2 servers which are running with a capacity of M5 M4 sorry, with a capacity of M4 4x large on production, but in development you just need M4x large or M4 large instances. So you can use the same configuration file where you parameterize the EC2 class. Okay, and you pass the value during runtime, for one for development, one for testing, like that. Okay, so same configuration file, different environment, different kind of deployments possible using these variables. Now, different type of variables, the simple or primitive types, as we know, string, number, boolean. Then we have something called as a complex. Complex is like your collection of data types. Okay, so you can imagine them as arrays and linked list, whatever we have in programming languages.
All right.
So
All right.
basically, collection complex can be again of two type. One is complex, where you have a homogeneous collection of uh, data type. For example, you have a collection of integer data type, or you have a collection of string data type. Those are those come under collection. You can have examples as list, map, set. Okay, list is collection of objects, map is a key value pair kind of thing. And when we talk about set, it is something like irrespective of number of times a particular variable appears, it would be showing you one, and it doesn't care about the sequence of the appearance of variables. It is something statistic concept, set and all.
Hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
then we have structured variables. These are more of a heterogeneous collection of variables where you have different types of simple variables collected together. So like in programming language, we have a object. In object, under object, we have a string variable, we have a integer variable, we can have a date type variable. Similarly, object here, and then there is tuple. This is also a kind of array which is of different type of variable, string, number, all collection can be done here. Okay, then we have the variables can have conditions, which I discussed just some time ago to validate the variable. Usually the variables are declared in blocks. They can be put in any .tf file, but the best practice is to declare all the variables in a variable.tf file. Okay, so you want to know the variables, you want to know the definition of variable, what type of variable is it and all, you go to the variable.tf file, you find the entire information regarding a variable. Okay, so this is how the variable declaration happens. Okay, it happens in blocks. Okay, so these are all again in JSON format. We have, this is the keyword variable followed by the name of the variable and then the variable type. Okay, you can provide even more information. You see in the third variable I have put type, I have put a default value, and I have put a description of the variable. Okay, whereas first two variables I have just put the type and I have left it. So this is only declaring of variables. You can give a default value, you can skip it. So this is only about the variable declaration. Okay, you are letting the system know that there exists a variable, and
Yeah.
if the user has somehow provided the value of the variable during runtime, it will take it. If not, it will ask for the variable value. Okay, so it basically lets the system know that there is something by this name which is a variable, you need to get the value. Okay, now
Yeah.
how do we use the variable? We use the variable inside the configuration file. So here is a piece of snippet from provider.tf. Okay, you remember in provider.tf we declare the cloud provider and then we provide access key, secret access key, region, all these things were there, right? So now what I have done is I have replaced my access key, secret access key and region with variables. Okay, these are the
Yep.
exact variables which I showed you in my previous slide. Okay, I
Yep.
have declared these variables in variable.tf file. Now in the configuration file, I have replaced the hard-coded values with the variable names. Okay, now these values can be taken in a runtime. So when I do a, let's say, same configuration file, I have two AWS accounts. Okay, when I run the same configuration file for account one, I can pass on the access key and the secret key and the access ID for the account one. It will deploy my resources in account one. Then I can run it again, just put provide different access key and access ID. It will deploy the same resource in my another account.
Yep.
Okay, uh, fine. So now how do we pass the runtime variables? Okay, it can be done in multiple ways. Okay, one, um, okay, I have to change something. Fine. Okay, so one, uh, when you declare a variable and you don't pass the value of the variable, you don't have this thing, what do you say, here the way we have a default value. If you don't have these, okay, so Terraform is going to look for the value. If it doesn't find a default value or something, it is going to ask the user to provide the value. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Okay, so if I don't have a default value the way I have here, okay, it will ask the user for the value. Okay,
Yep.
so during runtime, the way it was asking me, enter the region, like that it will be asking, you put the value, you go ahead. Okay, or else another way is when you write this command in command line itself with a hyphen var, you can keep go on passing the variable values.
Right.
Okay, Terraform plan hyphen var, first variable name, variable value, followed by space hyphen var, second variable name, variable value. This way you can also provide it. Okay, and the
Yep.
third way is you put all these values in a file. Okay, so in previous versions it was tf variables file, but now they have changed it to tf vars. So by mistake I kept the previous
Right.
version thing. I'll rectify this. .tf
Yep.
vars is the file where you can pass on the variable values. So now what happens is, let's say you have hundreds of variables. Suppose let's say you have 100 of variables, and you cannot go on passing them in the command line, right? It's very difficult. So you create a file with all the values. Fine, and you maintain these files for different environments.
Yep.
Okay, for the dev, for the production and all, you maintain these files. So you have to do a deployment in production, you fetch your Terraform tf variables corresponding to production, you do the execution. Okay, you have to do it for your dev. you put the respective value for the dev in tf-var files, you do the execution. So it will just read the values from that file and it will do the execution. Okay, so now this is regarding how we pass in the runtime. Okay, I would be showing a demo. Okay, so that will make the things more clear. Okay, so now there is something called as a conditional variable. Okay, this is something which I explained you earlier, validation. Okay, so this is something which is available from the Terraform version 0.13.0. Before that, this validation was not available. So it's again, it's been long time. So we all use the current versions of Terraform, which has been any releases in the recent past. It is applicable. Okay, so what it does, we can define conditions for checking any variable which is provided or validating any variable which is provided against certain conditions. For example, in this piece of code what I have shown you, this is the syntax actually. Okay, so same variables.tf, okay, you which I showed you earlier. Now one addition what I have done is in default region I have put a clause called as validation. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, in validation I have written a condition. Okay, my condition is that, okay, this value, okay, AWS def region, this value should contain either US East 1 or US West 1.
Okay.
Anything other than this, if I put, it will throw me an error. And what is the error? I have configured that in error message. US East 1 and US West 1 are the only regions allowed.
Yep. Sounds good. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we validate this. So before I send my command or my configuration to the cloud, I would do a validation on my system itself, that have I provided the proper runtime values. Okay,
Right. So
yeah,
these slides, can I copy paste the code? How do you give these things to me? Are you going to type it in the notepad and give it to me if I want to
okay, so this is a PDF, but the piece of code which I have shown you here, these are images. You want them,
try?
I can modify the PPT for you. I'll replace these images with text, but that would be a little bigger. I don't know what should I do. I can make small text files and attach it to the PDF,
Yeah.
to the PPT, something like that. I'll try. You want these snippets in a writable format so that you can copy paste them?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll do that. I'll do that.
So that the access keys, whatever it is, right? I can simply replace. So I don't have the typo mistakes. I can use the same code
No,
and
no,
test it.
no. The access keys and all you cannot use mine. Okay.
No, that's what I'm telling. I can replace with my own. So
Yes, yes. So yeah, I'll remove this access details and all.
man, if you are okay,
Oh,
then
I
I can
have
use
access
it.
keys.
But
I haven't put access keys yet. No, no, yeah. Let me check. You told the right thing. Let me go and verify.
that's what I'm trying to say. I can replace it with my
Yeah.
own. So because only I can use the snippet of the code to avoid all the typo mistakes and retyping. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, fine. I'll make it a text file and put it
Yeah,
here.
maybe after the class, please make it so that I can do my setup in my local, at least connecting to from my Terraform local to AWS and spin up
Hmm.
an EC2 and S3. So then I will let you know if I have any issues.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's now get into the demo part. Okay. Uh, yeah, we have good amount of time. I should be able to cover the demo. I ran very fast today. Okay, is it okay?
Yeah, please.
Those
Yeah, I'm
concepts and all.
100%. No, this is
Fine.
pretty good because this is an something called when we go for our regular programming, variables are the key, right? So in terms of the repeatable stuff, yeah, I completely understand that.
Okay, now fine. Let's go for a demo now. Okay. So what are the things I have in my mind for demo? You will see the variable declaration, variable definition, and how do we pass the values. Okay. So quickly,
So
I
is
have
that's not
a
the agenda for today, or is anything else so that I can
no.
skip the
I kept the agenda short because I knew we will be consuming some time talking about the life cycle policy, and I showed you the demo of that, right? So that
sounds
is
good.
why I had to cut this one short.
Very good. Very good. I like it. Yeah.
Okay. So that we don't overshoot, like by
Right.
it I can finish the demo
Right.
also. That's what was
Right.
my
Yeah.
plan. Okay. So usually I don't have a study material which is ready made. I
Hmm.
have a habit of preparing these for the class. As per the session I plan, I prepare the materials accordingly.
Good. Good.
So
Yeah. Hmm.
okay, fine. So let's see here. Let me create a. I have something a variable demo, but let me take you step by step. So I will create a new folder. Say variable demo 2. Okay. Now let me take out variables.tf, providers.tf. Mm.
Yeah. Maybe you can use the Atom editor. Atom editor is good. So if you want to simply use the
Yeah.
editor.
Okay. I use Atom only for this. What do you say?
Okay.
Only for writing Python
Okay.
code.
Yeah, this is good. Even for Terraform, they have an
Terraform as well.
IDE integration. If you go to the library and if you just type Terraform, they have an
I'll
Terraform
try
integration.
that.
It will give automatic code. Yeah, just
I'll try that. Actually, some people suggest Sublime. Some people suggest the
yeah.
visual.
I use the Sublime. And yeah,
Yeah,
for Mac it is a
everyone has.
Sublime, but for Windows it
I'm
is. Yeah,
I'm a little lazy guy. That's why
yeah, no, that's
I
fine. Yeah,
keep on doing in
Windows
Notepad
is
plus plus.
flexible. Yeah,
Okay.
because I use the VS Code in the project for my Git integration, right? So yeah, it's all the how we like it. Yeah.
Okay. So now please ignore this portion. Okay.
Hmm.
Just ignore this portion for the time being. Okay. 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 So you see, as I told, variable declaration. Okay. I am declaring three variables. Okay. One, my access key ID. Second, my secret key. Third one, my default region. Okay. Fine. Now I have my provider.tf. Okay. Where I pass in the credentials. Okay. So what I have done is, earlier I used to have my exact access key and access ID over here. Now what I have done is I have replaced these with variables which have been declared in variable.tf. Okay. So Terraform is going to find what are the things which have been declared in variable.tf. It needs the value of that. Either you provide through console, if not, provide through a file. If not, it is going to ask you on the runtime, enter the values. And then it stores those values. And when it runs the configuration, it finds the name, it finds the syntax of var dot this. Then it knows it's a variable and it goes and replace it with the required value. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So we have provider, we have variable. Now let's just pull another small one. What I can pull from here? We just sorry. Variable demo, I would be using EC2, I guess, right, on the mybucket.tf. Okay, sorry, I have to init that, right? So let me go variable demo 2. Let me initialize here the okay Terraform init. Let it get the AWS stuffs. Hey, the situation, COVID situation is again becoming bad in US, right? Or things are improved.
Oh,
Like I heard a couple of days ago, 5 lakh cases around per day.
yep, yep. That's true. That's what I'm, even and go to the gym, that's only the worry point, but what to do? Yeah. And we cannot stay inside the home too because so cold the weather. I have gym in my home itself, but
Mm-hmm.
still I like to go to the club. But
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yes, I can understand that.
Here everything
Okay.
is affordable, man. Here, we have a very pleasant home with 6 bedroom with a gym and everything.
Wow.
We can't expect it a 2 bedroom anything in India, right? Now become like 1 crore, 2 crore. But here it's affordable. Yeah. Here, yeah, like we have a nice home.
So you got citizenship over there or what?
Correct. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. That's the thing, here the life is so easy, not so tough, See, the COVID and all, because of people are so like, oh, they don't want to wear masks, like our religion stuff, right? Here also they have some religion. Don't
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to take any shots. Like even from the birth, they don't want to take it. All the flu shots.
Oh,
So
oh,
yeah,
wow.
that's a big thing going on.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know. So there is some people said like as people are not taking shots and also it's a kind of what you say nexus between the pharma industries and the government to keep on putting that fear factor to push people to take the vaccines and all. But how
Right, but it's
there are all
free. It's
bloody
free,
theories.
but still people don't want to take it.
Yeah, okay. So now I have initialized it. Now let's go for Terraform plan. So before I
Yeah.
go for Terraform plan, I would show you. So we have,
That's why
let
this
me
is the
just
good
take you to
time
the,
to cover the classes as well.
yeah,
So
yeah,
because once it is busy, the project, so that's why I like to take the course and get the
yeah.
concepts.
Mm,
Yeah, you see my code also, right? We have a very good team, but
yeah,
my goal is I need to understand, I need to develop.
yes,
That way I
yes,
can tell to somebody to do. If I don't
yes, yes,
know, it's very tough, right? So
yes.
yeah, yeah,
I understand that. So
yeah.
here in variable.tf, we have access key ID, secret key, and default.region. You see, region has a default value specified, but access key and access ID have no value specified. Okay. And then in today now in resources, I'm just using a bucket. Okay. In this bucket, there is no variable used. Okay. So only variable which are used are the access related things as of now. Okay. So let's go ahead and run the Terraform plan. See, I
Yep.
didn't provide the value anywhere. That's why it is asking me the access key ID. Okay. So just to show that it is taking the value from here, I'll enter something stupid
Yep.
and let's see what it does.
It's still trying to validate and say these
Yes,
credentials are
it
invalid.
will, yeah, it will go to AWS, get it validated, and then return back saying that this is not allowed.
Yeah, yeah.
India also this Omicron is increasing, like it's like
Yeah,
every
yeah,
alternate home is having COVID cases now.
correct, correct. There you cannot control, man. It's a different problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here you see. So the credentials provided over here are wrong. You have a status code 403, which is a denial. Okay. So now let's use the proper credentials. Okay. Terraform plan. Okay. I'll pull my access key.
So even in my case, if I run a Terraform plan in my example demo, what I shown, that should give
Mhm.
you an error, right? If I don't declare a variable, it should show that, hey, this variable is not found, something like that.
Terraform plan variable. Yeah, it will, because it cannot get the details of your resource.
Okay.
Okay, if you don't provide the required variables and all.
Hmm.
So what it does is it's exactly does the same thing like resource provisioning. So instead of just provisioning, it will show you what I'm going to provision. Okay. So yeah, so see, I provided the access key details and all. Now it has shown me the plan what is going to be created. So it is same as apply. Only thing is, it doesn't create the resource. It shows you what resources are getting created, but the backend process remains exactly same. It connects to AWS, it validates the thing, all the things and all. Then just only thing is, it shows you this I am going to deploy. That is the plan, the whatever we have Terraform plan. Okay. So now today I'm not going to execute Terraform apply anywhere, because I will stop at plan, because the next step is Terraform apply, and whatever I see here, that will be created. So I don't need to do that. I will save my time. Instead of provisioning a resources, I'll just show you the concept of variable. So I'm going to
Right.
stop everything at plan today. Okay.
Right.
So here you see the S3 bucket would be created because I give them the proper credentials. Okay. So this is part one. So we have seen the variable declaration. We have seen the variable, how do we use the variable in a configuration file. Third, the first way of getting the runtime variables, that is when I don't provide anywhere, the console is going to ask me. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do the second way. Terraform plan hyphen var. Okay. Now I will take the name of the variable, access key ID equals, within double quotes, I'll have my value of access key. Okay. Space the second variable, the name is secret key. Put it equals the value. What is it? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yep, here. Okay. So now what I'm doing is I'm passing all these values. Is it visible, Anand? You see, right,
Yeah.
what I wrote, or it is because it is in the bottom of the screen, there is
No, it's
difficulty?
good. It's good. I
Okay,
see
right?
that. Yeah, see that.
Here, better visibility. Okay. So so now from the console, while executing the command itself, I pass the variables.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's see, does it accept the variable like that?
Yeah, maybe we need to delete these recordings because sometimes key ID and keys are,
No,
it's
don't
some,
worry, I'm going to rotate that.
yeah, good, good. Yeah, keep doing.
I rotate that. I would delete the user, recreate the things and all. So this is quite common using trainings and all. Okay, see.
Very
So
good.
we have this value, right?
Yep.
So the plan worked. It is showing me I'm going to provision a AWS S3 bucket and all, right? So now here we are. The second way is done. Now the third way. Okay, now the third way. The third way is, I told you, we use a .vars file. Okay, so I'll go here. See, so ignore this for the time being. Okay, I have my values passed here. Okay, now you see the directory. Now you see the directory. We have a terraform.tvars file here. Okay, which contains the value, runtime value of the variables, what will be assigned to them. Okay, right?
Yeah.
So now it's going to search for this file Terraform. When it gets this file, it doesn't need to search for the variables from the console, or it will not ask me for the variable in the runtime and all. Okay, it will take it from here only. Fine. So now let's go quickly. So I'll just execute Terraform plan. I'm not passing any variable now. Okay. Enter. Okay, so this worked. It is provisioning me the S3 bucket. Okay.
Yep.
Right. So this is the third way of passing the variables. Okay, so basically at an organizational level, we take this approach.
Yeah.
Okay, so we maintain files for every environment and all with the required values. Okay, for dev I'll have a file, for production I'll have a file and all. This is done at a enterprise level basically. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
done. Now let's see something interesting here. I'll show you what we have next. The condition check. Okay, this is pretty interesting. So I gave you an example of region, right? I'll not do that. Okay, I'll let me show you something interesting with EC2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with this use case, what I target to show you two things. Okay, one, the condition check. Second, how using variables and all, I told you, right? With the same configuration, I can deploy prod and I can deploy dev also, right? So two things will show you. Okay, now let me go back to my demo 2. Okay, so now let me my variable demo. Let me fetch the configuration of my EC2. So see, this is the EC2 resource. Okay, I have AMI, I have instance type. Okay, now what I'm doing, leave it. So you see, I have parameterized this. Okay, now I'll come back to it again. Let me go ahead and put the variable. Okay, so I'll go back, take my variable file. So I create these files usually beforehand so that we save some time. Okay, I don't like typing it during the class itself,
Right.
so hope you don't mind that.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, take here. Okay, so now my variable.tf, here you see I have declared a variable by the name EC2 class. Okay, and you remember we have a complex type of variable map, which I told it's a key value pair,
Right.
right? So here what I'm doing is my EC2 class, I use a key by the name production and its value is T3 large. I use a key by the name dev and its value is T3 micro. Okay.
Yep.
So now what happens is, you can guess from here. If I will do a deployment on production, I will have a T3 large system created. If I'll do a deployment on dev, I'll have a T3 micro system created. Okay,
Yep.
fine. So next I declare one more variable. Okay, and this is a string type variable. This is called as the deployment environment.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so now I will show you condition. Okay, so I have only two environment, production and and dev. Okay, it's called as prod or dev. Okay, if anyone puts system integration testing, UAT and all, I don't have my facility to deploy there, so I need to make the developer aware, sorry, the person, I need to make sure that people don't do anything other than prod and dev. Okay, hypothetical scenario which I'm telling you.
Right.
So now what I do, I put a condition. Okay, you remember the one which I showed you in slide with
Yep.
this US East 1 and US East 2, this one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, condition, yeah, this one, right? The US East 1, US East 2 concept. Okay,
Yep.
same thing here. I'll have either, this can have, it can contain either prod or dev. Okay, this is the syntax. Contains is a function which takes two parameters. The first parameter is array of the allowed values. Second parameter is on, it is comparing with what. Okay, so this second parameter again is inside a function lower, because people can type dev or production in lower, in capital. So it is a case sensitive check, so I have to convert them into lowercase, and this is being done on which variable? The same variable depenv. Okay, whatever will be the value of depenv, it converts that into lowercase. Okay,
Yep.
so depenv is going to be checked against production and development. Okay, if any of these values are present, well and good. If not, it is going to give me an error message, deployment is allowed only on dev and production, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the variable declaration. This is the variable, yeah. So now let me go back here to the EC2 again. Now you see here in EC2. So what I'm doing, the instance type, okay, I'm doing, as it is a map value, so I'm telling you look for the key, according to the key you set the environment.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so now what should be the value of the key? Okay, what, against what value the key should be verified? It should be verified against the depenv, the deployment environment. Getting me? So
Yeah.
get into the map. Okay, take the deployment environment variable. Okay, find the key equivalent to the deployment environment and its corresponding value, you set it up in instance type. Okay,
Yeah.
so if my depenv is prod, it is going to search here the key prod. The key is prod, it is going to pass the runtime variable as T3 large. Okay, if this
Yeah.
value of depenv is dev, it is going to come here, search for the dev value in the key, it finds it, the corresponding value will be passed in as the runtime value, that is T3 micro. If I pass something called as a UAT, this is going to have a condition check here. This is going to fail. It will provide me an error message and it will stop the deployment.
Right.
Okay, so all these three cases, let's see now. So the code is done. Okay, so as I added a new EC2, let me init again so that any module related thing, it will come up. In the meantime, let me show you. Let me just pull the Terraform vars file, tvars file from here again. Take it. So see, now I have same username, password, whatever was there. In addition, I am going to do this deployment on production now. Okay. Hello.
Yep.
You there, Anand?
I'm
Okay,
seeing
fine.
that.
So I'm going to do the deployment on production now. Okay. So what I would do is Terraform. I'm not passing any variables because I'm using the uh, terraform.tfvars file. Okay. So the value of my variables are defined here. I showed you now, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll just execute the command terraform plan. Let's see what happens. Okay. Let's go to the EC2 and see the instance class. C T3
Yep.
large. Okay. Let
Yep.
me take you back to the variable file. For production, we have T3 large. Okay. Now let me change to dev. Okay. What I will do is my tfvars file. I'm changing the value to dev. Okay. Let me re-execute the same thing. Terraform plan. Okay. Let's go to EC2 again. See if it worked as expected.
Yep.
See, now it is T3 micro. Okay. So as per the environment, my EC2 class will change, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now let's just last thing. Let's do the condition. Let's see the demo for the condition checking. Okay. Now I have put 80 assembly testing, whereas I don't support that. Okay. So it should throw me an error saying that this is a wrong variable. Okay.
Right.
Let me run that. Terraform plan. Come on. Chunk. Okay. Here this variable is wrong. Okay. Deployment allowed in dev and prod, which is the exact message which we have configured in variable.tf. Deployment is allowed in dev and prod. Okay. And a very interesting thing. Okay. It follows a standard. Okay. The error message should begin with a capital letter and should be ending with a question mark or full stop, something like that.
Oh, okay.
You just
Okay.
write some random text and all, it will throw an error saying that, like beginning itself, like it is a wrong error message.
Cool.
It's an
Okay.
interesting thing.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
cool.
with that, I come to the end of the day's agenda, and I'm happy. Exactly 1.5 hours. What I I am
Yeah.
estimating very well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Hope
my day
Anand.
will also start now. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually my meetings also start. That's why I put like in a little bit early sessions. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, right, I may not make it
Yep.
because I have an
Okay,
appointment.
no problem.
If
No
something
problem.
got
No
changed,
problem.
I will put in the WhatsApp. Is it okay?
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah,
Let's you take a break tomorrow.
good.
So do one thing. Whatever we covered till date, I don't know. Let me talk to these guys if we can, if I can share the slides and all, or else at least you know the concepts now. You think about these concepts and go through the
Yeah,
project. Take a
I
day's
think the
time and
slides, whatever is in the notepad, at least if you could just put it in the organize in one sheet and you could send it to me, I can try to
yeah,
provision my cluster and
yeah.
connecting to.
I'll try to send those demos your way. I'll
Yeah,
remove the I'll remove the .terraform file and everything because that is that makes it heavy. I'll see I'll how we can send it. Let me talk to these guys,
yeah,
and you can try something from your end, and we'll meet day after tomorrow on Wednesday.
cool,
Wednesday, right?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so
And
much.
one more thing,
Yeah,
Friday I would be driving, so I would be in, I don't know if you know, somewhere in Chhattisgarh jungles and all, so there will be no
right.
good internet connectivity. So we would also take a pause on that day. Okay, or we'll
Yeah,
take a break on that day. Okay,
yeah,
fine
yeah.
then. Okay,
Okay.
have a nice day, Anand, and
Thank you.
let's meet day after tomorrow. Okay,
Okay, then. Thank you so
yeah,
much. You too.
okay,
Bye bye.
bye. Cheers.